smell turkey.
Tuna fish.
Big beef jerky.
Potato knish.
I smell onions.
Pizza, too.
The dog needs washing.
And so do you.
It smells like...
What does it smell like, Space Ghost?
It smells like...
What can be?
It smells like... It smells like Cartoon Planet. Woo-wee.
9 billion names of pod.
From Atlanta,
where we direct our anger at the media and not your buttocks.
it's the 9 Billion Names of Pod with Dan Bauman and Michael Reed. I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm enjoying a shot of Scotch Mist.
So let's talk about some stuff.
No, I think I'm going to finish this bottle of Scotch Mist. And we'll go ahead and play part 2. Do you remember a tiny little show that popped in and out and then was gone called Lucy, Daughter of the Devil?
Yeah, I watched that a couple of times again.
Hilarious.
Real weird.
Lucy, investing the devil's money in a dildo factory.
Yeah,
and guess who voices the devil?
Who was it? Was it John Benjamin?
It was John Benjamin. It's just like he must be number 1 on the speed dial.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the guy's classic. Remember John Benjamin Has a Van?
Yes, that's a Comedy Central show, I believe.
Yeah, was it?
Or was it Adult Swim?
I don't remember.
It was either Comedy
I think
Central-
it was Comedy Central.
Right, and it was, it's like 8 episodes or something. And
No, was it even that much?
it wasn't.
I don't
much
remember there
more
being
than
too
that.
much, but
And it's on Netflix. You can watch it.
Again? Oh,
yeah,
God,
and it's him like
just doing weird
shit. And it was like for a while it was the ones I remember he was doing like news
Well, yeah, he was like
reporter.
Right. Do you remember Baby Pranks?
Baby pranks.
He would totally prank a baby. Like the prank was genius, but you're pranking a baby, so the baby has no concept that it's been pranked. It's like, got you, ha, and the baby's like, ha, you're so burned, baby has no idea.
Yeah.
And that was the whole conceit of that one. Do you remember Moral Oral?
Yes.
Oh, that had
Moral Oral was dark. Moral Oral was a takeoff of, if you ever saw I don't know if you ever saw it as a kid, but there was a show called Davy and Goliath.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that's exactly what it is.
It's which was it wasn't claymation, but it was kind of
It was
like stop motion,
stop animation,
like
stop
Rankin
motion.
Bass ish.
Yes, exactly.
Kind
of like Gumby was.
Kind of, yeah, like puppets and stuff. And Davy and Goliath was a very pro-Christian. Beat you over the head.
Don't know, Davy.
That was on in like the afternoon, sometimes, or on Sunday afternoons or something. And it was like, even as a kid, I was like, wow, this is heavy-handed, and just like moral tales of how to love Jesus and all this stuff. And it was, that's fine for what it is, but it was like, wow,
How do you love Jesus?
Yeah, exactly.
And little reach around. No, I'm sorry.
And Moral Oral was a complete takeoff on that, done by, I understand it was Dino Stamatopoulos.
Yep.
Who's like a total lunatic.
and a freaking genius.
Yeah, if you've ever seen Community, he was Starburns on...
Starburns,
which
yep.
he hated doing, but he's just one of those type of guys. He's a brilliant actor. He doesn't want to do it. He wants to write weird
He's
shit.
currently on a show right now, and for the life of me, I can't remember the name of it, but I remember seeing his name in the credits and going... That makes sense.
Writing or
genius?
Or is he on it?
No, writing.
Okay,
or creative.
Right. And Moral Oral was just the evil inverse.
Well, basically the concept was Moral Oral would hear a sermon.
Yeah.
And then go out into the world and literally follow exactly verbatim with no nuance or just, and it resulted in some pretty raising the dead. It happened at one point. It was that one. That one was very, very good. And that lasted, I don't know what, about
2 or 3 maybe.
Yeah, I think about 3 years, and they did a one-off special called Beforal Oral.
Oh, really? I never saw that.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that either. That was about 4 years ago that happened. But they did 43 episodes, so,
That's pretty good,
thumbs
yeah.
up on that.
Yeah.
One that is very close to my heart and to my growing up, NTSF SD SUV.
Yeah, that was Paul Shear's thing.
That's Paul Shear's thing.
Yeah.
It was a takeoff of, like, take Law and Order SVU and put it with, like, anti-terrorism.
Yeah.
And it all takes place in San Diego.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is the SD of,
Yep.
And it just takes all the conceits of those procedurals and turns them into absolute ridiculous stupidity.
Yep.
And casts him as, the hotshot, awesome guy that all the ladies just cannot get enough of. And
Yep.
I'm not saying he's unattractive. He's just not
Just that type of guy.
He's not conventionally attractive.
Right.
So, and like 1 or 2 series in on that, we got Amy Pond.
Karen Gillan.
I love me my Amy Pond.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever watch Mary Shelley's Frankenhole?
No, I didn't. I saw that on your list. I was like, I don't remember that one.
That one, that's Dino again.
Was it?
That's another
not
Dino.
Surprising, yeah.
And basically, Dr. Frankenstein would resurrect various people from history, but there was the Frankenhole where you could travel in time.
Right.
And because why not the Frankenhole?
Why not?
And there's Dracula who's like screwing his wife, and it's just
Yeah.
Basically, the purpose of this episode, kids, is for us to kind of go, oh yeah, wasn't that great? But you now have a list of shows that you need to check out.
Yeah.
There's really nothing on here that we've talked about that's bad, unless we actually said, yeah, don't. Yeah,
And there really isn't anything
No.
that I can remember on all.
I mean, if
other
you're-
than asking McGee.
And which I watched most of them just because when you're watching Adult Swim, it's like, all right, I can endure this for 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Because then another show's going to come on.
Yeah.
And even that, I mean, I might have chuckled a couple of times, but, and there's other ones that, for the most part, I didn't want to talk about today because they were so fucking horrible. Like that Avenger Angel about the... Oh, I can't remember his name. I don't even want to talk about it.
I don't even know
But,
what you're
but basically, you have a concept. You've heard maybe a little bit like, oh yeah, I've heard about Aqua Teen, or I've heard about get on this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, just go to Wikipedia, type in Adult Swim, and there's your primer right there. Start watching.
Yep.
The only thing that's probably not readily available is the cartoon. God, I forgot the name again. The Space Ghost one, Cartoon Planet.
Cartoon Planet.
Cartoon Planet, because you're not going to get that on home
Right.
video. I don't think they've.
I mean, I'm sure it's available somewhere on the internet, but we wouldn't condone such a thing.
Yes, not that I would seek out every single episode and download it and keep it. Now, this one is literally, and I'm not fucking with you, the weirdest, most fucked up show of all of Adult Swim ever.
Which one?
Perfect Hair Forever.
Is that like the anime one, kind of? Or
It's kind of
Yeah.
anime. It's the girl/boy. We don't know. It's like very attractive for a boy, that goes around with a screaming tree and a hot dog.
Yeah.
And they're fighting some cat thing, and I still have no concept.
Yeah, I've caught that a couple times and been like, I don't know what's happening.
And it's genius. I mean, if I was going to take acid and watch Adult Swim, this is where I'd start. As soon as it kicked in, I'd turn on Perfect Hair Forever and go. And here's how freaking weird they are. The first season was 6 episodes. And then they went away for like, I don't know, a couple of years. And then did season 2, which was 1 episode on April Fool's Day. And then they went away. And then all of a sudden, 7 years later, did 2 episodes on April Fool's Day in 2014. Just because, it's been enough time. It's like the guy on Twitter who started his account with a post, I see you shiver with anticipation. And then like 10 years later, without having made another single tweet, just put patient.
Yep.
And I mean, that is stamina, my friend.
Yep.
That is stamina. Titan Maximum. Do you remember Titan Maximum?
Yeah, was that like the Voltron takeoff?
Yeah, it's kind of like
Giant robot.
four little bots.
Yeah.
Come together to form Major Bot, but they're all fighting all the time.
Yeah.
And they're like, I want to be the fist. I don't want to be the, I want to be the head.
Was it puppets or was it cartoon?
No, it was
It was animation. I thought it was puppets.
No, not puppets. It
was Robot Chicken. It was
like
Seth Green's thing.
stop animation type stuff.
Yeah.
And it is a Seth Green.
Yeah, it's
a Seth Green joint.
It's a Stupid Monkey production. I do remember that.
Stupid Monkey.
It's basically a takeoff of Voltron.
Yeah, and basically they sometimes save the universe. And if they do, it's just because one of them was like a gigantic slut, and it's weird.
Yeah.
Weird thing about Seth Green, I remember he was going to be a star from the very, very, very first, because long before he had done anything else that I was aware of, do you remember a commercial? I think it was for Wendy's, and he was one of the other guys at Pricey's.
Okay.
Fast food place called Pricey's. I'd like a hamburger. Well, that'll be $4 million. Ching!
Yeah.
And they'd give their order. Cha-ching! And that was Seth Green. And everyone freaked out about that commercial.
Yeah.
Because he was just like, there's the Pricey's guy doing his ching thing.
Right.
And then a couple years later, all of a sudden, he's like showing up in this and that, and he's probably had 17 different live action series that last
tons of movies
that last 5 minutes and then die, and movies that die. I mean, they do okay. I mean, he's getting steady work.
Oh yeah.
And Robot Chicken is his baby, and they're starting to run a bit on fumes because they've really gone through their childhood toys and TV shows to make parody of.
Yeah.
And they've done that. They're starting to move into more current stuff. And of course, anytime there's a new Star Wars or something, that's going to be,
Well, that's the thing they've been doing a lot too. Is instead of doing just the seasons of Robot Chicken, they'll do the
specials.
They'll do the specials. They do the Star Wars specials. They did a DC Comics special because they did so many sketches of the Justice League bagging on Aquaman that they had to do. They had to do a whole DC, and then they did a whole DC villains special with Lex Luthor's daughter and stuff. It was really good.
Don't worry, Aquaman. I'm sure if there's any terrorism around a lake or a river or the ocean, we're gonna need you. But until that, that's...
And Breckenmeyer is Superman. Bam, Superman. Yeah. He was so funny.
And last on this list, a little something, one of the live action ones. Remember Saul of the Mole Man?
I only saw that once or twice. That's one of your favorites, I know.
No, I don't want to say that. I watched it because of Dana Snyder.
Yes.
A live action Dana Snyder. He's on it.
Right.
He's not the main character. Oh, no, is he?
I don't
think he is. He's down there as well. Anyway, it's kind of a convoluted, weird thing there.
Yeah.
And they only did 20 episodes and then went away. It's been gone for 7-8 years now.
Yeah.
But that's one that I thought was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. Which leads us into the same production value on a couple of current shows that are going on Adult Swim. One of them is your favorite and mine. Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell.
Yeah, done right here in Atlanta.
And I gotta say, this is one where you want more as quickly as possible, and they take forever.
Yeah.
But then again, when they come back, you're like, oh wow, they had they had to work on getting that much blood together for this scene because okay, it was worth the wait.
Yeah, I happen to know how that blood is made. So my buddy Chris Brown, he does makeup for that show, and he does makeup around town and in shows and stuff, and we've used lots of his blood.
But not just
in
makeup,
shows.
like prosthetics and basically any weird appliances you put on.
Yeah. And he builds puppets, and he's a mad genius.
He built the Dormouse for Hatter and Hare.
He did.
Goddamn creepy as
Yeah.
Bernie was over at my house once, and he went into his back seat and comes out with the Dormouse. I wasn't expecting. I was like, okay, thanks for that. Mm-hmm. So that's been renewed for a third season. So we're getting more. In fact, he's working on it. I've seen his posts.
Yeah.
Little things. I don't think there's a debut date announced yet, or if it is, I don't know what it is. But it's coming. It's coming.
It's a great show. And,
Squidbillies is still going on, and
I can't wrap my head around that show.
It's because you weren't born and raised in Georgia.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
I mean, neither was
Neither were you,
but for some reason, I get it. I get it just fine.
Yeah.
If for no other reason, because I guess what do you want to call it, the rich guy in town, the patriarch, the overlord of the Squidbilly universe. His name is Dan Halen. I mean, yeah. I mean, mic drop.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, Squidbillies has the greatest quote, and this is saying something because I'm including Aqua Teen in this. And, Master Shake has the best quotes ever. Squidbillies has one where they're up against a big monster in the forest or whatever. And I'm not going to set it up for you. I'm just going to tell you, little Granny looks over, sees what's happening, and says, "The monster doesn't like babies! Quick! Nobody dressed like a baby!" I shit you not. I literally almost convulsed with laughing, and that almost never happens with anything. But quick, nobody dressed like a baby. Like, oh, I got the rattle then. Okay, so that's a window into my what the fuck is going on in his head mind. Yeah, well, that's. Do you remember, or have you watched the Eric Andre show?
Yeah, you want to talk about weird.
That is fucking genius of the... I mean, if you guys haven't seen the Eric Andre show, just... Basically, the opening is he destroys his set every single time. And in different ways. He chainsaws it. He runs through walls. He'll...
jump on it and destroy
exactly. And he just comes at the drummer and just takes him out with like a running headbutt punch at the same time. Yeah. And then it'll cut away to him sitting in the middle of the stage in a diaper eating pudding and crying. And then it'll, Yeah,
it's like a Dadaism talk show.
Oh my God.
And he just torments his guests.
And people come on the show.
Yeah.
Now it's
most of them walk off the show.
It's half the actual people, and then and here's George Clooney. And it's some homeless... It looks like a homeless guy that walks in, and he treats him just like he's George Clooney. Mm-hmm. And they do on-the-street weird things and interviews, and Hannibal Buress is the co-host.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
before he blew up, that's kind of where he...
Exactly. Well, he had already kind of blown up, but not super...
Yeah, not as where he is now.
Not Broad City blown up. This is before Broad City. Or the show started before Broad City. I think he's doing both concurrently.
He's still doing it, yeah. And he says, and Hannibal said, I've heard interviews with him, he says, all the weird shit that they do, he goes, I don't have any idea what's going to happen at all. He goes, I walk in, I sit down, and then that show happens. They don't tell me anything.
The show happens to me.
Yeah.
I'm not a part of the show.
Exactly.
It happens to me.
Exactly. And... I've seen Eric Andre on like sitcoms and stuff. He's a really good actor.
Oh, he was in the Don't Trust the Bitch in Apartment.
That's
2B.
Right. Yeah.
And playing different than his Eric Andre.
Yeah, same
talk show
He was
character.
on Two Broke Girls for a while, which we watched, and he was just a straight.
I
ahead.
stopped watching Two
we
Broke
did too.
Girls.
We did too. It was okay, but we kind of fell off of it.
Although that allowed me to relate from the debut episode, from the pilot for Two Broke Girls. In the first 5 minutes, it set the tone, and this is totally Whitney Cummings.
Yeah.
This guy is like, waitress, snapping his fingers, and she comes over and goes, "You think that this is the sound that gets you service. I think that this is the sound that dries up my vagina."
Yeah.
And I went, "Oh, it's going to be that kind of show."
Yep.
I will watch for a while. And then after like 10 episodes, I went, I'm just watching this because one of the girls is insanely cute, and I'm not invested in their life.
Yeah,
anymore.
it was sitcom. It was fine.
Yeah, but it's still on, so
It's still on. Yeah,
it's
it
still
really
bringing
is.
in Whitney. Or the Whitney sitcom isn't around anymore.
No, that did 1.5 seasons. I
Yeah,
think.
and I got like Chris D'Elia's like I like Chris D'Elia. I'll see him in. Well, he's in Undateable now, I think.
He is.
And I don't know if that's been canceled or not.
No, it was going. They were going to do.
Well, Ron Funches in it. You can't cancel Ron Funches.
No, you can't. Ron
Never.
Funches is one of the best. They were going to do they did a live episode of Undateable, and they did a double a live East Coast and then West Coast. So they did 2. Mm-hmm. And from what I understand, they're going to do either the whole season live or they're going to keep doing live episodes of that show because it went so
just
well.
like it was back in the olden
Back in the day.
days.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, what do you think of when I say
Mr. Pickles,
That-
good boy.
Yeah, that I couldn't even try. I saw the ads for it. I was like, nope, I can't. That's going to hurt my head.
it's
What is it, Satan's dog or something? It's a dog. It's a cartoon about a dog. I know that.
It's a cartoon about a dog that is named Mr. Pickles because, he likes pickles apparently. But he has a subterranean lair under his doghouse where he has, leather daddy slaves and torture rooms and orgy palaces and, strange characters come into town. And it's weird. Mr. Pickles protects his little boy, the one in the braces, it's his dog. And the only person in town that knows is Grandpa. Oh, Grandpa, you with your Mr. Pickles is evil. Yeah. Oh, Grandpa, he's senile. And the dog's looking at him like, got that. Yeah. And it's definitely fucked up. And it really pisses off Christians, really no sense of humor Christians. So I'm already there. I'm like, great.
Right.
I fully support that. Now, your favorite show running right now, Mike Tyson Mysteries.
Yeah, I'm behind. I'm behind a couple episodes.
Oh, my God. It's such a good show.
I mean, it's the actual Mike Tyson.
Yep.
As doing Hanna-Barbera style mysteries. He has a mystery team.
Well,
and
it's basically like Scooby. It's like Scooby-Doo, except the mystery team in this case is Mike Tyson in a tracksuit.
Yep.
His adopted daughter Hung Yi. And then, for some reason, Norm Macdonald as a talking pigeon.
Yeah.
He was changed that way by his ex-wife, who is a witch, who put him into the body of a pigeon, as foul-mouthed and as horrible a human being as a pigeon can be.
Right.
And then my favorite character,
the Marquis of Queensberry, the ghost of the Marquis
the ghost of the Marquis of Queen, who is basically like a white floating apparition, voiced by
Jim Rash.
Jim Rash. That's
Jim Rash
it.
from Community. Yeah.
And of course, is Marcus gay? We don't know.
We don't know.
But the pigeon will talk about it nonstop.
Yeah.
And they, and the great thing about it is they get their mysteries with homing pigeons in a pigeon coop in the back.
Yeah.
Not that Norm Macdonald's pigeon has anything to do with that portion of it.
No.
Just, reach in there and oh, look, someone used a homing pigeon to send us a message. Because that happens.
Because that happens,
It's like, help, my house is on fire, come quickly. First of all, why are you using a homing pigeon?
Yeah.
Why? That's how it happens.
That's just how nothing in the show makes sense.
No,
but
nothing
it is
at all.
So goddamn funny.
We've got, Mike Tyson goes to the moon in one episode. Yep. There's a screaming gnome in a woman's van in another episode.
They do a whole house flippers, one of those house flipping shows where the
haunted house.
The haunted they're going to go buy a house and they always do the cutaways to the people. I thought the house was really nice. Mike, mystery solver and boxer, kind of thing. Genius.
My favorite part of every episode is that there's maybe 15 seconds of actual Mike Tyson that pops up during the credits.
Yeah.
Of him just making a riff or a commentary about something from the episode, like, well, I never had that house might have been haunted, just
Right.
talking about it.
And the full my favorite part of the show is the full on Johnny Quest opening credit sequence.
Da-na-na.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
like with Mike Tyson riding on a pterodactyl and
Of course.
rocket launchers and stuff you'd never see in the show.
It's just it's a genius show.
Yeah, you know how like in the 80s every pop like Mr. T had a cartoon and
It's very much like Mr. T and the T Force or whatever.
they did that a ton in the 80s, and it was always the celebrity and like a talking animal, or they always had a mascot and it was a bunch of kids and they solved mysteries, and that's exactly what this is.
They just picked up the formula and said, let's
see
make
if
it
this
a little
works with the
fucked up.
actual Mike
Well,
Tyson.
it follows the whole Adult Swim, not mantra, mythos, paradigm, whatever they do. I mean, C-Lab 2020. All right, let's take it, twist it, and do the same thing, but with weird shit going on. So,
And the fact that Mike Tyson has such good comedy chops is unbelievable.
I think it's accidental comedy chops. I think he is just doing him, but it works in this format.
Yeah.
Like, if he was on
has
it-
to get it. I really think he has to get it.
Okay.
But I think he
I'm
does
not-
play it straight.
I'm not entirely sure he does, but hey, you know what? I don't know his life, so he may be a PhD for all I know.
Right. Well, he raises pigeons, and he always has. That's kind of where the pigeon thing comes
Oh,
from.
really? Is
yeah.
that something from his
Oh,
life?
absolutely. As a kid, he raised pigeons because he needed some kind of outlet to get off the streets, and he's been raising pigeons his whole life.
So
that's the whole pigeon.
That's probably
thing.
how they got,
Yeah.
we got this thing, like, I don't want to do, oh, you're raising, yeah, all right,
Yeah.
we'll do it.
If we need a talking animal, it'd have to be a pigeon, and why not Norm Macdonald?
A foul mouth pigeon.
Who drinks and...
Drinks and smokes, and apparently gets laid by really attractive ladies.
Yeah, which-
how does that even work?
I don't even want to think about that.
I'm not even thinking about it. Now, I want to wrap up our little talk today with probably the greatest.
I know which one you're talking about.
All right, go ahead and say it.
Rick and Morty.
Oh, fuck yes. And I was late to the Rick and Morty club.
I'm still way behind. But
I'm completely caught up. I do get Swifty on a regular basis, which you will know about when you get caught up.
okay.
But this was a show that I apparently had missed, or I had heard about it, but just didn't. It just didn't connect because I think it wasn't running on Sundays.
No.
Because they've started doing some shows like the Eric Andre show. They may do some reruns on Sundays sometimes, but it's something that happens during the week. Because they're branching out into, instead of putting all their debuts on Sunday, they're letting it go throughout the week. So I had missed that one because I figured, if they can't even put it on Sunday, it must not be that good. Wrong.
Right.
Our friend Bernie Clark basically looked at me with mouth agape going, "You've not watched Rick and Morty? I don't know if we can be friends anymore until you watch Rick and Morty." So I watched Rick and Morty and went, holy shit. It's hilarious, but it also it holds up a mirror to mankind and human foibles in a way that is just a little weird. That is very appealing.
Yeah.
It's alternate universes, time travel, battle, this.
It's
that.
like a twisted version of Doc Brown and Marty McFly is really what it comes down
Yeah,
to.
I mean, if Doc and Marty had a number of adventures and Doc had been probably a really bad alcoholic drug addict with zero empathy for anybody except maybe Morty, and Marty whined a hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
Then that would be that would be it. And the father, Morty's father, is what's the guy from SNL who does every voice ever for
Darryl Hammond?
No. Not Bill Hader. The other guy.
Oh, the guy from I know.
See, he's a household name, but
Yep.
not.
I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
he-
Will Forte.
No,
No. Okay.
no, not
Jason
Will.
Sudeikis.
no.
Rick Parnell.
Chris Parnell.
Yeah.
That's it. Chris
Yeah.
Parnell. He's he's half a dozen spokesmen on TV.
He's Cyril from Archer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So he shows up everywhere, and Chris Parnell plays. And I think I'm pretty sure that remember Scrubs.
Yeah.
Remember what's her name? Sydney? No, the blonde.
Sarah Chalk.
Sarah Chalk. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's the mom.
Yeah.
In that.
Wasn't it Dan Harmon? Isn't he?
Yes, exactly. Which it's community adjacent in
Yeah.
in creativity,
Right.
And that's where you get that from. So
You will need to come and meet me for lunch someday, because at the CNN Center right across from the aquarium, there's a little Cartoon Network store, and there is a bench outside with a Rick that you can take a picture of sitting next to on the bench.
Squee and Squee.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Wow. Do they sell like Adult Swim merch in there?
I think so. Yeah,
Like-
I haven't gone in.
like
but-
legit shit.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a
because
whole.
to this day I still have the Moonanite key thing. Remember, I was like, I saw you had it on your key ring. I said, "Oh, that's awesome! Here, have it." I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
wow!" I'm like, "Oh," and I still have my my meat wad stress ball
Yeah. Yeah.
and a couple other.
Yeah, it's a Cartoon Network store, so they have. I'm sure they have Adult Swim stuff in there. I haven't gone in there yet, but next time I go over there,
Well, I'm
lunch-
sure there's stuff they sell to the public. Then there's the promo stuff.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that not everybody can get their hands.
Right.
I know that Dad's always has like some Adult Swim swag for their auction for Bacon Fest.
Yeah, they usually get some stuff
You know.
thrown in from they usually get DVDs and posters.
yeah, but
and
also
stuff.
like little promotional
Promo stuff,
swag
yeah.
stuff
Oh, yeah.
that I have in my collection. A CD of Space Ghost Coast to Coast bumps that
Oh, yeah?
never released.
Yeah.
That's where I got my, Mozart completed his first symphony by the age of 7. How's yours coming?
Yeah.
Just little bumps like that you can put on the radio.
Uh-huh.
Never released to the public. I found it in a used CD store here in Atlanta. You're not going to find that in a CD store somewhere else,
No.
people. So that back in the day when I actually would sit there and hunch over a CD bin for 17 hours looking for everything.
Yep.
Back in the day. That's it. I don't know. We could talk about Check It Out with Steve Brule, but I've never watched it. I've never watched any of the Tim and Eric awesome show, great job.
I've watched
Or
both of
Steve
those.
Goes to the Mayor. Or,
Yeah, Tim and Eric did that's kind of all theirs.
yeah,
They do all that stuff.
I've seen a few things here and there, but none of it like just jumped out at me like, wow, this is genius.
No.
I'm not putting it down. It just didn't grab
It's
me.
weird to be weird. Tim and Eric, they do
Well,
weird to be weird.
I'm a fan of that.
Yeah,
But
but
apparently
it's
it's
got to
just-
be your flavor of
It's
weird.
not my
you know?
flavor of weird.
I've mentioned this before. The Check It Out with Steve Brule. They did that one shot that one night, which was that episode called Bag Boy, which was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It was John C. Reilly as a bag boy, and just being weird and like
It's
kind of a
good.
sitcom-y thing. And wow, I literally I was watching this and I got on Twitter and I went at Adult Swim. Is Bag Boy real or am I dreaming this? And they almost immediately tweeted back both. So I was like, okay.
See, that's one thing I like about some of the, and of course, Adult Swim is responsible for a lot of these little one-off things. Remember the greatest TV show in the history of the world, where they Rick Scott somebody, whatever. They would recreate like the opening sequence to MacGyver or to Golden Girls or some
Too Close for Comfort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They like shot for shot remake of all this other stuff. And of course, not exactly. Well, no, I guess it is Adult Swim. Too Many Cooks.
Yes.
I mean,
no, absolutely.
I mean,
was.
it's not. It wasn't part of the Adult Swim block.
No, there was a show that they would do different things on. Because I had to find it because I knew so many people who worked on it. Chris Brown did Smarf, the puppet, the cat.
Good old Smarf.
And it wasn't its own thing. It was on one of their weird, like, 3 o'clock in the morning shows.
Right.
So it was definitely an Adult Swim piece.
But it was outside the normal Adult Swim like programming block, so you'd have to have been watching at that time to, at least initially.
Obviously
until it
exploded,
it went viral to hell. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing I like about Adult Swim. I can almost picture, someone like me coming in and pitching, a show with this pilot, and they go, that is fucking phenomenal. Where does it go after that? And I'd go, I don't know. How about this? We're going to make the pilot, and just the pilot.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking hilarious, and then we're going to mic drop it, and we're going to go on to somebody else's thing. Like,
yeah.
Okay. So you get, kind of like in the sense that Robot Chicken, in one of their sequences, if they need 3 seconds to tell the entirety of the joke, that's it. They will do 3 seconds and then move on. They don't try to pad it out or try to,
Yeah, Kids in the Hall versus Saturday Night Live. Kids in the Hall would do a 2-second blackout sketch. Saturday Night Live would make that a 4-minute, painful thing. Yeah, this is only this funny, and we're only going to do that. And the fact that Adult Swim will let people... Too Many Cooks isn't a thing. It's a gag. It's one gag on 80s sitcom opening scenes, and it's... What is it, like 15 minutes long almost? It's really goddamn long, and they let him do it.
And it's genius.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Why are they going to do Too Many Cooks too?" Like, no, don't. Why?
Yeah.
The joke has expired. I mean, I suppose if you wanted,
he's going to do something else.
You could
Casper
probably
Kelly,
find something to make it funny, but why? Not everything has to go forever.
Yep.
Here in America, we've talked about this. Like, oh, you were famous in 1984 and you're not now? How sad. Like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I mean, my life didn't end when my popularity stopped to being...
like, what's his name? Alex Winter, who did,
Bill and Ted.
Yeah, people are like, I wonder how he's doing. He's like a brilliant documentarian.
Yeah, he's doing just fine.
Every year he does a new documentary that wins awards, and now he's currently working on a Frank Zappa documentary, as a matter of fact.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. So hopefully we'll
that
see
has support of half the existing...
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that.
Well, yeah, that's a sad thing. But you know what else that he's gearing up for? It's been teased.
No, it hasn't been teased. It's like they've both said that it's happening.
They've also been saying that for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting closer.
Yeah.
The fact that Keanu Reeves is willing to do it, I'm amazed.
Well, I heard an interview with him, and he said, I heard an interview with Alex Winter, and he said, no, he goes, this is the misconception about this whole thing. He goes, Keanu is the one who keeps bringing it up to me. Keanu's the one who wants to do it, and like we all want to do it.
Right. It's getting the financing and getting the studio.
He said
to
he's
greenlight
working
it.
on it as hard as he can. He goes, it's not that I'm trying to drag him into it so I get back in the spotlight. He goes,
I'm fine.
Yeah. He goes, it's both of us. We want to do it, and Ed Solomon, and the original team. So.
Right. That would be the first Bill and Ted's. I probably saw in the theater. With OG pod fan Anthony Pierce. Yeah. We went probably just about every weekend for maybe 4 to 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. It was a new kind of weird film, and we loved it.
Yep.
I saw the sequel probably on home video and went,
I really like the sequel.
I probably need to watch it again.
Yeah.
Simply because my first impression, I was just like, I don't own a copy of it.
Yeah.
But I'll check
I really
it
do
out.
like it. I mean, Bill Sadler is a genius as the Grim Reaper, and just I don't know. I like it's very time travel-y and trippy and stuff, and I really do dig it. So
as long as they don't try to bring Rufus back for the third one,
they can't.
Well. Come on, they're going to bring Tarkin back, perhaps. Anybody can be brought back now.
It's true.
I mean, fucking A, there's Fred Astaire dancing with a vacuum cleaner.
That's true.
That just rends my soul.
Right.
Ugh.
But they don't do that kind of stuff on Adult Swim.
That's all they do. They fuck with everybody. They fuck with everybody left and right. Speaking of fucking with people, you'll never guess what the next season of Mike Tyson's going to be exclusively about.
What?
They're going to nonstop fuck with Bill Cosby until...
Medication time. Medication time.
Ran out of time. I will tell you next week
The Nine Billy Names a Pod was conceived, written, and performed by Michael Reed and Dan Bowman, with Abdul Benny Hassan as the sound of splintering wood. Research, transportation, and exasperated looks by Courtney Loman. Technical assistance by Cubase, Pro Tools, Skynet, QLab, Deep Thought, Big Brother, and Eddie, your shipboard computer. Financial consideration provided by the Wayne Foundation, Stark Industries, the Piranha Brothers, and LexCorp. Legal counsel by the Office of Howard Howland and Fine.
Swing your partner round and round and go to town. Now it's time to say goodbye to Dora and his kid. Thank you folks for kindly doing stop and dropping in. Have a heap been helping of our hospitality. Lee. Goodbye, everybody.
Audio Primate.